India's railway story has always been about scale. Today, it is also becoming a story about sustainability. And the time is right. This isn't just another train that was flagged off today. It's India's first hydrogen-powered train, a project that could redefine how the country approaches clean public transport. And the service begins on the 89-kilometer Jind-Sonipat route in Haryana, marking India's entry into an exclusive club of nations exploring hydrogen-powered rail technology. Take a look at this. Unlike conventional diesel locomotives, this train produces no smoke and no carbon emissions. Electricity is generated on board through hydrogen fuel cells, and the only byproducts are water vapor and heat. It is another significant step in India's larger push towards green mobility and its net zero commitments. But what makes this train truly special isn't just the fuel. It is among the world's longest and most powerful hydrogen train sets, featuring 10 coaches, 2400 kilowatts of propulsion and technology that has been designed and developed entirely here at home. It is also expected to serve routes where full electrification remains difficult or can sometimes get a little expensive. And India is entering a race that only a handful of countries are part of. Germany pioneered hydrogen passenger trains. Japan is preparing commercial services. The United States and China are also investing heavily. India now joins that very select league with indigenous technology and ambitions that extend well beyond a single railway route.
दुनिया में हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन अभी आई है, करीब 7-8 साल पहले ही अस्तित्व में आई है। अभी दुनिया के 3 या 4 देश ही हैं जिनके पास हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन चलाने का सामर्थ्य है। लेकिन भारत की जो ये हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन है, उसके सामर्थ्य के बारे में सुनकर आपको भी गर्व होगा, एक हिंदुस्तानी को गर्व होगा।
But hey, as with every new technology, there are important questions. Hydrogen is a clean fuel, but it is also highly inflammable. So the question, is the hydrogen train safe? Well, Railway says that the train has undergone independent safety assessment by the TUV SUD Germany with multiple hydrogen leak detectors, flame sensors and protection systems and dedicated refueling infrastructure built specifically for this project. So is hydrogen truly the fuel of the future? Can this technology be scaled across India's vast railway network? Will it complement electrification or eventually transform regional rail transport altogether? Tonight, let's decode India's hydrogen breakthrough. Joining us here on the broadcast is Mr. Anil Sood, environmentalist. Many thanks for taking on the time, sir. What's your assessment here, sir? This seems to be one of those very important red letter days for the country. India has now entered this global hydrogen elite rail club. Purely from an environmental standpoint, how significant is this milestone, sir?
Kabir, thank you very much for having me on your show. Well, this is an achievement, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But as you rightly said, that there are certain areas which need to be looked into. Now, for this short route, about 89 kilometers, I take it about 100 kilometers each side. So for 200 kilometers route, you require at least 400 to 900 liters of water, first of all. Now, question is, can India have such surplus water, only clean and clear water for hydrogen train? This is the first question mark. Secondly, it requires for hydrogen generation and, compaction and storage, you require electricity. 80% of electricity is thermal power today, even as on today, which was 70% a few years ago. Now it has gone up to 80%. Now, when we say that we are using clean fuel, fair enough. Point very well taken. What we do is we save environment in the city and spread pollution somewhere else, just like EVs. In EVs also, we have 80% thermal power.
Yeah.
Again, we are shifting pollution from city to thermal power station, which in turn distributes pollution in a radius of about 300 square kilometers. So we need to look at that also. China has started suburban train or trams. Fair enough, we can also think of having suburban trains or trams. Germany started somewhere in 2019. Japan, US, and other countries, they are still experimenting. They have not come into, with the commercial exploitation of hydrogen trains. Now, moot question arises when the electricity which is required for generating hydrogen, compressing hydrogen, storage of hydrogen, almost 60% of power goes waste.
So
now,
really, how green is this initiative? Because there are two aspects to look at here, and I think you've raised those pertinent points. Because first and foremost, Mr. Sood, credit where it's due. A lot of countries across the world are doing it. It is an achievement. We've done it here back at home. Kudos to the Railway Ministry for attempting something like this and then delivering on that particular front as well. But then two aspects. Firstly, India already has a huge electrified railway network. Where does this small 89 kilometers fit in? So you've got a misfit puzzle, that's number one. And with AI and data centers and our aquifers already running out because of the water that's being used up for artificial intelligence, where will we get this kind of water to then help propel this particular train or trains, plural, if we have other ones in the future?
See, we have almost 80% of our tracks are now electric tracks. Now, when we know that we lose about 60% of power when we operate hydrogen-operated trains. Then, what stops you from using that very electricity up to 80% efficiency in electric trains? First of all.
Okay.
Now, how costly is the infrastructure for charging and refueling hydrogen? For a normal commercial bus or truck station, the cost ranges between 40 to 150 crores.
Hydrogen trains are considerably more expensive than a conventional train, so you have the aspect of the cost as well. And then you see, you don't have the first AC, second AC, third AC, or those kind of amenities. You might not have a pantry car in one of these trains. So you're not looking at the longer routes. These are shorter routes. But then, Mr. Sood, what's wrong with that? You'll have shorter routes. You'll have shorter trains for shorter routes. It sounds like a cute setup.
As I said, for urban transport or as a tram, just like a tram, you can use it for urban transport. But it cannot be a long-haul train. It cannot be overnight train. And it cannot be used for goods train even. See, for goods train also, thousands of tons material is transported in rakes. Now, that kind of power, unfortunately, hydrogen train cannot pull those trains. So, ideally or logically, it can replace EMUs, which are operating within intercity trains. It can very well take that load. But again, moot question arises, from where do we get water? And how do we set up the infrastructure for refueling, recharging, and compressing hydrogen? As it is today, NITI Aayog had come out about 3 years ago that by 2030, most of the metros will be starved of water. Are we doing anything towards water? Are we doing anything towards water harvesting?
How, quote-unquote, net zero is this when we take into account all of these factors here, sir? But you see, Indian Railways, with the huge population that it has to cater to, it's always been about scaling. So what I'm understanding is that this will probably work in pockets where electrification is not, entirely possible. This will also, work in areas, because this is just one train that's running in Haryana, an 89-kilometer stretch. Realistically, how scalable is this from your viewpoint? I mean, take that environmentalist's cap off for a second, Mr. Sood, and tell us how scalable is this really?
See, we started with CNG few years ago down, if we remember.
Yes.
Till today, we don't have enough of CNG. You can find huge number of cars outside every refueling station waiting for their turn to come. And invariably, those cars are spilled over at railways, on the city road.
And maybe the picture is different in the national capital, but you can't really
Yeah.
speak about the rest of the country.
Correct. When you travel intercity, you are not sure whether you will get CNG or not. Then we started on EVs. Now, EV within city, you have, as of now, you have only domestic charging stations or some charging stations here and there set up on footpaths. Intercity travel again remains a big question. When commercial exploitation starts, when commercial stations are to be set up, what would be the cost of electricity? Nobody has any clue till today. Now, having said these two, quoted these two experiences, now my worry starts when you start operating hydrogen trains on, longer routes, overnight routes. Is it really possible? Is it how do you set up charging stations on electrified tracks?
Because you have a refueling setup that's catering specifically to this train in Jind.
To this train.
In Jind. So if another
Yes.
train comes about, you'll need another refueling setup and station. That will require all those sensors, and because like we've pointed out already, hydrogen is highly inflammable. It
Yes.
needs all of those safety precautions as well. But
Correct.
you see, sir, beyond symbolism, what do you think success will look like 3 to 5 years from now? Be it 3 trains, be it just 4 trains. The point is that we did it back at home. I'm again circling back to the fact that we did it here back at home. And we've done with ISRO, like we've done with a lot many other, scientific aspects. We do it better than the rest of the world as well, and we do it cheaper. So, people from across the world are also looking up to what India does with its own technology. But penny wise, pound foolish. Is that the way that we're looking at this? That's the only question that's coming to my mind.
That's the basic problem. Penny wise, pounds foolish. It can run into only small pockets. It cannot replace conventional trains. It cannot replace conventional goods trains. And again, as you rightly pointed out, highly inflammable.
Okay.
We are already facing this problem in multiple areas.
Yeah.
Although all parameters do exist, all laws do exist on paper, but on ground, we see the realities which are quite contrary to what is written in the rule book. So that is where my problem starts, that as a common citizen, how safe I am when I board the train.
The safety is a little bit of an aspect. The indigenous development is clearly something that's actually commendable. But
Absolutely.
The sustainability and really how green is this rail network is something that
Yes.
we'll have to wait and understand and watch out. Let's not, play the devil's advocate so soon, Mr. Sood. Only today was
Absolutely.
the train flagged off. Some good things can also come about with this train, specifically for the people who are going to be traveling on this area and stretch which can't be electrified. So hydrogen, it promises a clean future. How clean? That's another question. But ambition alone doesn't really fuel an economy. Can India build the technology, the infrastructure and the investment that is needed to turn this promise into an actual power? That's one of the challenges that also lies ahead. Mr. Sood, many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to us here on
Kabir.
News9.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
then
you.
we're going to shift our focus to our final segment on In Your Interest. And like we have it, this trend that's been going on for the past couple of days, this time it's not FIFA. Let's shift our focus to cricket for a change, because for nearly 2 decades now, and we are talking about the hitman here, Rohit Sharma has been one of the defining faces of Indian cricket. From becoming the only batter with 3 ODI double hundreds to leading India to multiple